at least it don't look like I pissed on myself. Today, in this YouTube video, we're gonna talk about how I went from being a bum to goddamn having motion, making money, and more importantly, just being happy in life. So I started my first set of locks back in 2018. Yep, that's when I started my first set of locks. It was cool. Honestly, I lied. It was not cool. It was honestly fucked up. They was different sizes. Parts was not parting for real. Some of them was big, some of them was small. It wasn't no grid. They was all uneven. I ain't gonna lie. And then, gee, I cut my hair into an undercut. I was bogus as hell. I was ugly. Insert picture. I was ugly. I cut my own hair. I went to a barber one time and I was like, I don't like the way you cutting. Like, this is not what I asked for. And so, you know, of course, me being me, oh, I could do this. I could do this a whole lot better. Cut my shit, no. But I also kept practicing and I kept getting better. Yeah, and it was in 2021 that I went to Larry's. But that's a whole journey. Let me go back to 2018. Let me fill in the gaps from 2018 to 2021. So honestly, let me go back a little bit further. When I was 10, I always used to get a silk press. I know I'm not no silk press no, we don't do that today. But back then, like, I used to get a silk press. I'm always in the shop. My cousin was a stylist, and so she would slay my shit. I'm talking about silk press in like a half an hour. She was raw as hell. Burnt the fuck out of my scalp, but I mean, she did what she needed to do. It was straight. I like the culture though. I like the atmosphere, the people coming in, you know, the vendors selling food. They was lit. But that's when I first got my experience in the shop. I was getting my hair silk pressed from the time I was 10 to the time I was 17. So that's a lot of years of somebody else taking care of my hair, me being in the shop. And when I got to college, I did not know how to take care of my hair for real. I'm talking about, I caught myself trying to silk press my hair, heat damage, not using the right product. Ain't no product knowledge, honestly. I didn't even know the type of products that I should be using for my hair. So there's that. And this is around like 2016. At this point, I graduated high school in 2016. So in the fall, you know, it was every man for themselves. Shit, I did not need to be for myself. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I graduated high school in 2016. At this point, I'm 18. So I'm in college. I'm calling myself silk pressing my hair because that's all I know. You know, you do what you know. Even though I didn't know how to do it, is all I knew how to do. But I was doing the heat damage, just fucking up my hair. About like 2020, 2019. I went to the pod and I was like, fuck it. I'm gonna just, you know, rock the 2 strands. I'm gonna 2-strand my hair. Take it down. 2-strand, take it down. And at some point that was getting irritating because it's like, why the fuck do I keep, you know, taking it down? Like, I was doing my hair all throughout this point by myself. So I'm 2-stranding my hair, I'm taking it down. I'm at the paw. Let's go back a little bit even more. So I'm in school. I didn't know what the fuck I even wanted to go to school for. I went to University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, under-fucking-sighted. Did not know what I wanted my major to be. So I'm trying the sciences, I'm trying the maths, I'm trying literally every fucking class. Like, I didn't like it. And it wasn't that I couldn't do the information. I could do the work. I just didn't see myself doing anything with the curriculum that I was learning outside of school. Like, what the fuck I'm finna do, go to school for the rest of my life? No. What the fuck? Yeah, I went to U of I, came back to Chicago my sophomore year because I'm like, maybe it's the scenery. Maybe I just gotta switch it up. Maybe if I go to a different school, you know, it might hit different, something might click. And I also changed my major, so I declared my major as some niggas walking. I declared my major. I'm like, fuck it, I'm finna major in criminal justice and minor in sociology. I was only there for a semester. DePaul expensive as fuck. I don't like it. Like, why the fuck does DePaul cost $17,000 for a quarter? Not even a semester. And 8 quarters is a goddamn month and a half. So from January to like March, I had to pay $17,000. My financial aid fell through. So yeah, I didn't pay $17,000. While I was at DePaul, I was 2-stranding my hair, then I was taking it down, 2-stranding and taking it down. And at some point I was like, this is real tedious. You know, it got to be a way for me to just like maintenance my hair without me having to go through the whole combing it out, washing it, sectioning it off, two-stranded it back up, and then like a couple weeks later do that shit all over again. Nah, I ain't want to do that. So I was like, you know what, I wonder what happened if I just two-stranded and just leave it up. So I did that. My hair started to lock, and it was cool, but I kind of did it a little too big. I'm gonna add a picture right here. Didn't like the way it looked. The shit was actually atrocious. Then I caught myself bleaching my hair. I mean, it didn't damage my hair, but I also didn't like the way that looked because I did it like maybe 6 months in. So my locks was looking, I was looking raggedy. I was looking bogus as hell. So I went to, like I said, I went to one barber and I did not like the way he cut. So from then on, I was cutting my own hair. This is when I cut my hair into a high top. I don't know what made me want to cut my hair to a high top, but went to do, he kind of gave me a skin fit. He gave me a high and tight. I got an undercut high and tight. That shit crazy as hell. But he gave me that. It's just some niggas walking down the street. You know, you gotta pay attention. You gotta know what the fuck going on in your neighborhood. But yeah, from then on I was like, you know what, I'm gonna cut my own hair, I'm gonna figure it out. Then I gave myself a lining. This was the first time I gave myself this taper, and I've had this ever since. I lived in Missouri for a little bit. That's a whole different story time for a whole different life. Honestly, we're not even finna get into that part of my life. I lived in Missouri for a little bit. Long story short, came back to Chicago. I came back to Chicago from Missouri with absolutely nothing. Like, I swear to God, I didn't have shit. But that's why I said going from a bum to shit, getting my shit together. You feel me? Like, so I come back to Chicago. Gee, I had, first of all, so that year I worked a lot of jobs. And when I tell you, I worked at Wendy's, I worked at McDonald's, I worked at a fucking gas station, I worked at Walmart. Where else did I work? This is all in Missouri. Where else did I work? That was that for Missouri. When I came here, I worked at Marshall's, I worked at Lou Malnati's, I worked at Foot Locker for a little bit. Like, I was just doing shit. Like, I was job hopping, like job to job to job. And my final job was Lou Malnati's. So like I said, I came back from Missouri. I ain't had shit to my name. I was actually in debt, dealing with bullshit in Missouri. So I was like, you know what? My mama told me one time, she was like, you gotta get a job. And I was like, bet, I heard you. Like, you only got one time to tell me that I need to get my shit together. I'm gonna get my shit together. So I got a job at Marshall's. And before I went to Missouri, I already had a job at Marshall's. So, you know, they thought like that was like my reference. The fact that I worked at Marshall's before, they thought I was gonna be a good worker. Gee, I just needed some money. But that's when I was starting to have like the revelation that it gotta be more than this. Like, I'm taking my little 15-minute break. I'm sitting on like outside. I'm sitting on like the steps by the entrance of the store. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, it gotta be more to life than this. Like, I feel miserable. I feel pitiful. Like, I'm not enjoying anything that's going on right now. Like, I'm not having fun. So yeah, that's when I got a second job, because I'm like, I need more money. And that second job thing, it only lasted shit from literally the beginning of July to the end of July. Like, that shit was dead as hell. I can't have two jobs. Like, you expect me to go wake up in the morning, go to one job. Mind you, I'm commuting on the train. I'm getting on the Chicago transportation, the Chicago Transit Authority. Like, gee, no, I'm getting on the train. I'm going to the first job. It was a bike shop. It was cool. I actually would have my bike sometimes. And then, you know, when I was feeling like I had a little bit of energy in the morning, I'd take my bike, go. It's not important. I'd get on the fucking train. I'd go to the bike shop. And then, you know, I leave that job. Now I'm going to my other job. And in the commute, that's damn near the time that I'd have to rest in between jobs. So that should only lasted a month. It did hit different, you know, have a check and then have another check hit. And so I got a little taste of what it's like to make more than 2 checks a month. But I'm like, it got to be an easier way to make some money. You feel me? So what I do? I quit both them jobs. And my dumb ass, I'm thinking, I need to get a full-time job. Fuck these 2 part-time jobs. Like, I'm finna give me a full-time job. I'm finna make this money. Dumbass, like, if you working 2 part-time jobs that pay $15 an hour and you working 8 hours in total for them 2 part-time jobs, 4 hours at one job, 4 hours at the other job, and you fucking quit those jobs to get a full-time job for 8 hours, making the same amount of fucking money, you're not winning. You're in the same position. You only making that money in one location. So I quit both my jobs around like September. So by October, like I got this full-time job at Illuminati's. I'm thinking I'm doing something. And then like I had to work there like maybe a year before I could actually get the benefits. So it's like I'm literally just doing the same shit just in one location. Fuck me up. That shit fucked me up. I'm thinking I'm doing something. I'm not doing shit. So what happened? I quit that job. I walked around a lot. Like I said, I ain't had no car. My only mode of transportation was literally the Chicago Transit Authority. So I had a lot of time to myself, a lot of walking around, just a lot of me time, a lot of time to think and reflect. And I'm like, something gotta shake. Like, that's when I had the realization that I'm working fucking harder. I'm not working smarter. The shit that I'm doing is not making sense. The results that I want, you know, is not, I'm not getting them. That's when I realized that if I keep on having the same input, then I'm gonna keep on having the same output. So I gotta switch up my input, right? So I gotta do something a little different. When I was in Missouri, I thought about going to Paul Mitchell. Like, it was just a little passing thought because I seen the ad. And then I came back to Chicago. Like I said, I was doing my own hair the whole time. Not even thinking like hair is a way to make money. I'm just doing the shit because somebody needs to do it and I'm not gonna pay for it. What the fuck? Somebody needs to do this shit. So one of my people was like, just come to Larry's, because I was telling him, you know, like I was thinking about barber school and stuff, and he was in barber school at the time. So it was like, you know, cool. I remember this day clear as can fucking me, because this is the day that I decided to change my fucking life around. So I got my paper check. I went to go cash my check. The check was $632, and it was some change. The change is not important. I just remember that $632. So I finally get the cash in my hand, and I had 600s. I took one of them hundreds, and I was like, this finna be my ticket. So this was the application fee. I went up to Larry's. This is in December at this point. So I went to Larry's. I did the application, paid the fee, woo-doo-woo, did that. From there, you know, I started barber school January 2022. So this is literally that next month. I'm going to school at night. I'm still working at Lou Malnati's. So fast forward to February, this bitch ass manager had me fucked up. You know how like you could tell that a motherfucker like home life is ass, so they come to work and they just try and like tell people what to do. Pretty much that was the situation. So I was working a night shift. I think it was like the weekend or something. I was working the night shift. So my job at Lou Malnati's was to answer the phone, take the orders, and then just do like tedious dumb tasks like sweep, fold the pizza boxes, just make sure shit clean, put the peppers and the Parmesan cheese, the forks and the knives all in that plastic bag. Like, that was my task. So it was at night. All this shit was done. Honestly, I had like an hour left. I ain't gonna lie, I had like an hour left on the shift. Like, we chilling. Like, you know, it ain't nobody calling the phone. The boxes is folded. I'm talking about the shit stacked up to the top. Like, where my head is, like, shit was to the top. Ooh. Shit was to the top. The boxes was to the top. And so this manager, he gonna tell me to go get some more pizza boxes. I'm like, it's boxes, like it's boxes under the table, it's boxes stacked to the top. Everything is done. Like, he pretty much told me, you know, he telling me to like go get the boxes and just do busy shit for my good. What? Like, what? So I marched my ass up the stairs. The way it's set up, I worked at the store in River North. So the way the shit was set up, the operations and shit, the pizza making and all that shit was in the basement. Then the main floor, that's where like all the dining happened. The floor after that, that's where people would like reserve if they wanted to have like a party, whatever the fuck, they had a room for that. And then it was like on the top floor, that's where they had their storage and everything. They had their other freezer. That's where they had shit stored up. And the elevator was occupied at this time too. So I marched my ass up them stairs. Whole time I'm marching up the stairs, I'm thinking like, this shit not to benefit me. Ain't shit about this shit benefiting me. This is benefiting somebody else. And you know, I'm in my head like, shit, my backup plan is already secured. I'm in barber school. I'm finna start cutting. Like, you know, I'm straight. My throat dry. That's a good water. But anyways, I march my ass up them stairs. I come back downstairs. I stand for a little bit. I think about it. And I walked the fuck out the store. Like, you really got me fucked up. Like, I don't have to be here. And that's when they clicked. Like, I don't have to be here. Like, legit. Like, for real. So they called me the next day, asked me if I was finna come in. I said, hello. And it was like, this so-and-so, the manager. You know, you're late for your shift. Are you coming in? I said, nah. And I quit. Hang up on you. Not in the mood. Fuck you talking about. Like, y'all got me fucked up and don't ever call me again. And they didn't. But, yeah. At that point, you know, like, barbering, it had to be the backup plan. Like, the hair shit, it has to be the plan. So, it just so happened that somebody reached out to me. He was scrolling on Instagram. He found my page. You know, I was posting consistently, but it wasn't the best. It was honestly ass. Like, if you scroll down my Instagram to the beginning, yeah, I had a humble beginning. But, yeah, he reached out to me, and that's when I started, cutting hair with him. And he was located on 59th and Green. So what I would do is, I was still in a night class at this point. What I would do is, I go to 59th and Green every fucking day. Then I go to Larry's in the evening. And mind you, I still don't have a car. So I had already got my barber kit, right? I got my clippers and everything. So in order for me to transport all my shit, I'd have to carry it manually. I put all my shit in a suitcase, because what you're not gonna do is rob me on the train. I'm still taking public transportation to get to and from all my destinations, because I got places to be at this point. My suitcase, all my clippers. I'm taking the bus to the train. I'm taking the train to the bus, and I'm taking the bus to 59th and Green. Like, that's literally what I'm doing every fucking day. And you know what? I had got me a car, got me a little whoopty. It was a little 06 Nissan Sentra. I bought it from the owner. It was cool. I got my car. And I also was able to actually, like, hold two bands. I ain't never held two stacks all at once up until this point. So, you know, I feel like I'm doing something. I went from not really knowing what the fuck is going on to now, you know, I'm starting to develop myself, and I was really consistent in everything that I did. Like, you know, I wasn't the best at the time. We talking about what, 4 years ago? Yeah, I wasn't the best at this time. But on the lock side, like, I'm starting to understand, like, other people's hair and how I can't do to other people what I was doing to myself. You know, everyone's hair is different. And on the cutting side, like, I was definitely getting better. Like, you could see, honestly, if you just scroll down my Instagram, you can see, like, the very humble beginnings. But like I said, like, that was the first time that I actually had two stacks in my hand. And it was like, I might be onto something with this. Like, maybe I did make a good choice. Whole time, my mama in my ear talking about, you know, maybe you should still get a job. Maybe you should apply to the post office. She said he's talking about the post office, and I'm like, nah, like, this is gonna work out. Like, just give me some time. Like, be patient. Like, I don't need to work at no post office. I still don't need to work in no post office. Like, I'm straight. I'm happy. I love what I do. I'm turning my hustle into a business, so it's not just me doing hair. Like, I have products. And that's a whole nother story. We can get into how I developed the product line and what everything that goes into that in a whole different video. But I'm happy, and that's all that matters. I found my path. I'm running with it. I'm gonna keep going. The momentum is just gonna keep on getting stronger and stronger. I'm integrating different ways to become a better me, just learning, just growing. Oh, and then I got my instructor's license. Like, my clients always tell me that I don't just do their hair. Like, I explain to them their hair. I educate them. I let them know what they need to do to get their hair to where they need to be. And that's when it clicked, like, I should do this at a larger scale. So let me start teaching people. So here I am. So that's pretty much how I started doing hair. That's how I became the Lock Doc. That's me, El the Barber. Keep hitting my fucking head. This one I was sitting in the back seat. This one I'm supposed to be in the driver, because I drive the car. This is my shit. I drive the boat. But yeah, this is the YouTube video. I'm El the Barber. Yeah. If you like this video, if you learned a little bit about me, if something resonated with you, like, subscribe, share. Let me know in the comments what resonated with you, what didn't resonate with you. But yeah, I'll catch you at the next video.